Well, now what do? Do we just get out of here now? You said you had a reason for doing all the investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything? I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability, my ability, what everyone should have known me for. The ultimate detective! Bam! It's pretty fucking obvious this whole time. Let me just inspect this body and come up with some clues and a clear strategy to how the culprit was able to manipulate and go through this whole operation while simultaneously deducing, why they did all these kinds of things. I must be an ultimate tennis player. The ultimate detective? And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy. There was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who? Well, he was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What? Naners? Naners? I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is the Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us that he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster. No matter the cost. Kyoko, what's going on? Gosh. My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense, but listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear, so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there? The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped onto the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind? You mean the mastermind, right? That was my assumption, yes. And to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map? That's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile and that key. And also that was the key that I was talking about earlier with the whole, I could call her out on it. Yeah, but whatever. Okay, the map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for facility use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check. And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there? But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we had ever imagined. What do you mean? I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like this must be important and really ominous. Yeah, we were just all about to agree that the tragedy was just a bunch of like high schoolers killing each other. Yeah, right. No, it's like some world catastrophe. I'm sure like North Korea like actually like hit us with some fucking hardcore nukes or something, and we were like, let's retaliate because we're America or some shit. I don't. Oh wait, we're in Japan right now, aren't we? Shit. Let's just forget world affairs. Let's just continue. Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, there were no cameras or monitors, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikasaba, doesn't it? Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you, either. You know you're right. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her? What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikasaba was to get me killed. Get you killed? I stole the key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me. That's why the mastermind attacked me. They were going to kill me and pin it on Kyoko. That was that whole night. They noticed that I was sick, I was defenseless. They could knock out 2 birds in 1 stone. They were gonna kill me and then have it get pinned on Kyoko so they could execute her. Which, at that point, would also be in direct violation of Monokuma's own rules. Because whoever Monokuma / mastermind is, they can't get involved with student affairs. So they already violated the code when they attacked me that night. If that truly is the mastermind, which I'm pretty sure it had to have been. That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't intervene directly. You mean because of the school regulations? Oh, then now they're gonna explain everything. I don't know why I even talk. I should just fucking read, man. Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope Speak Academy at your discretion. The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations. It's gonna be a gassy episode. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikasaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. This is where she's gonna talk about where, like, they attacked me last night. I could have become the victim? You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean they were gonna kill me and pin it on Kyoko? During the night, I can hear them, you know, the footsteps of the god of death. What? Oh, okay, now don't do some, like, wizardry on me, alright? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this, which is exactly what happened to you. I was in the dorms, and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down in the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. Shadows can't be white because they wouldn't be a shadow. The point of a shadow is that it's like a hinder projection of light. A shadow isn't light. It's like an obstruction of light. That's the point of a shadow. So it doesn't make any sense. I'm confused. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room. I ran into your room, and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course. See? She gave him the chop-chop! That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to whoever the mass assailant was, they ended up dead. And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind, in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. That means that the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but that doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't intervene, right? You're right, that is a contradiction. And that's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. They're not following their own rules if they're such a stickler for them. So what does it all mean? It means the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh? Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair. There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not. If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy, whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair? That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. then they're, make no mistake, they're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through with this. That is the ultimate despair, and that is our real enemy. Chapter 5, 100-mile dash pain of a junk food junkie, the end. Still 6 remaining. Oh, did I get a dildo? Oh no. Item got Dream Island rocket present. Hey, wasn't that from like the first one? That dude got like executed. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Can we just go then? It's locked, but we have a way to open this door. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room. Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. So good thing I wasn't an asshole and made you part with it. See, I'm a good boy. I trust my waifu, so I got myself killed, but in reality I didn't because my other, I should say husbando, saved my life. And it can open any door in the school, right? That's right. And we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey, Kyoko, can we use that key of yours to open this door, right? Let's find out. Kyoko took the key with Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then, yes, it opened. Nice. And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free, but there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Deadly life. Just skipping right into deadly life. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunneling extending straight up, like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Oh, I see how... I see what you're doing there, game. I see... The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea where we were. We were so far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long? Ever since I can remember. I came from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous? Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So, because we take pride in it. Pride? A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. See, well, like, that makes sense. Like, you shouldn't judge someone based on, like, what they do. You should also, like, uncover their intent for doing things. That's why I like villains' side of the story more, because it's like most of the time, the villains have, like, an actual story where the hero's just like, I need to stop the villain. Like, villains usually have, like, more purpose behind why they're villains, rather than, like, the hero, like, I'm going to save the day, yay! You can't just kill innocent lives, but it's like, what if those innocent lives are stealing money from, like, banks or something? I don't know. They're laundering cash. They're embezzling. I don't fucking know. But like murder's still illegal, so I can't. Whatever. I'm going into off on like a super tangent here. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society, which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort? It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it, because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her, because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family. And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that. Dots. Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about. There's nothing I want to talk about. I want to talk to my father about. There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him, face to face. What is it? I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, and he had a promising future, but he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him. If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me, because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name, so every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had a chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression, so I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that, compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true. But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really? The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing. But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow had been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need to get out of my life. I need to step out of this shadow. That's why I have to find him and tell him that we're no longer family, in order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, just to cut him out like that? Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. We are connected by heart. Are we connected by heart and soul? No. Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said oof. I said nothing. Oof. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. There's nothing here. Shit, we gotta go back down. It looks like this is it. On the other side of the door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back. Remember the hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my hand out and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Hey, look at that! It's like we're in the first trial again. Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back at Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. when it sounds like that, it sounds like you didn't fucking care. What I wanted you to say was like, oh, you know, I couldn't just, you know, leave you because I really care about you because like you fucking stuck your neck out for me and I, you know, I should probably fucking do the same. Come on. Give me something to work with here. You can't just be like, oh, you don't need to thank me. I was just returning the favor. No, you're supposed to say like, oh, you know, it was no problem. You know, I really care about you. So like, cause you stuck your neck out for me and stuff like that. No, fuck that. Whatever. God damn it. Anime is just so difficult. Why are women in anime so difficult, man? Let's just get straight to the point. Let's hold hands. So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, and I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might... You're worried? Yeah, of course. Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh? Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's... If we try and hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out, and it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't, because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was? If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly, before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. Dots. I'm still a little, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we? Monokuma should be in the gym. Let's get going. Okie dokie, Sarge. I don't fucking know. I'm just babbling nonsense at this point. I don't know anything about the world. I'm too dumb. Hey, 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 hey! Kyoko, I don't mind you so much, but Makoto's supposed to be dead! What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. And are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished! Did Kyoko help you? So what if I did? What would you do? If a guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again! And this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko! Do whatever you feel you have to. What? But before you do, let me just say one thing. If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose? You! Explain yourself! What do you mean by that? Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted to execute. You wanted an excuse to kill me. I was supposed to be the chosen as the blackened and then executed, right? Hey! What are you talking about? But then Makoto chose to overlook my lie. Your plan came crashing down. I was the third party! I was the middleman! The one thing the mastermind didn't plan was for me to fucking stick out for Kyoko and get executed myself. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting, because you never imagined that in a position one person would protect another like that. And in response to that unexpected development, you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. When I was innocent! I didn't kill anyone! Meaning the trial was false, and if you're such a stickler for your own rules, that is against regulation and you lose. Brah! You made a choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well. Dots. But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed it. Now there's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Murkuro. You did. Dots. So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, then they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose. You talk big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto. And can you prove this, right? No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence? I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some. Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type? If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. No, you kind of dragged me along. No, actually, I don't think it's a good idea. No, we need to go talk to him. I don't think it's a good idea. He never would have he would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you love to inspire. But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts. And that's supposed to be enough to convince me to abstain in the absence of evidence? It's not you I'm trying to convince. If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh? Imagine what everyone would think if you killed Makoto. Yeah, how could you just kill the main character like that? They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right. Despair can never kill hope. Of course, you could say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square, then I suggest you take my advice. Dots. So, what is this advice of yours? To do Murkuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial. It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Murkuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Dots. More dots. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Barry? Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes. Now what you've suggested might be plausible, it would certainly make for one honey of a climax. Does that mean you accept? If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm pre-bared to agree on your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory? Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed? Then we still have a shot at this. But this is a long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting ending. So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right, every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that, then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you. That's what I've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Murkuro's death and solve all the mysteries of the school, then you win. But if you can't do all that, well, we all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're all as excited as you are, I'm sure. When we've uncovered every last truth, how will ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this all turned out. But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? The one that if one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held? I remember that for sure. So what? I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And that it's a true statement. You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said this before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Murkuro is no exception to that. That just confirmed it. The mastermind behind this is a student here with us. The only people participating in these killings are students themselves. And if we actually held a trial for Murkuro, that means a student killed her. And if all of us have airtight alibis and none of us were the killer, that means the mastermind truly killed them and the mastermind is a student. There it is, folks. Huh? Murkuro's trial is no exception? Then it's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Murkuro... It's a very polarizing approach. I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but the killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What? Are you telling the truth? Dots. More dots. Why do you go quiet? Why do you go quiet all of a sudden? Dots. I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would you? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable. Leave me alone. Get out of here. Oh, okay, I'm going. Are you really gonna let me go? Dots. I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get punished later anyway. I need to start getting ready. A super duper extra special punishment, overflowing with despair. Oop boo, oop boop boop boo, oop boop 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 boo. Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. Oop boop 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 boop. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away, and just like that, we were out of the gym. Holy schmolies. What a wild ride that was. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Dots. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. So, well, do we just start investigating or what? Nah. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you. Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from the final showdown, do they? They had no choice but to accept it. Huh? It's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the mastermind let their guard down? I wasn't there to hear myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said that they hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that. And what do you think when you heard of that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable. You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off. And yet somehow, the mastermind was able to do it. But to think of it in another way, there must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason? They had to show the world something, no matter the cost, us killing each other. They wanted to show the world. The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. Exactly. If the mastermind truly wanted us dead, they could do it any fucking time they wanted to. But they are adamant of creating this game because they obviously want to prove something, or I don't know, just show kids killing each other or some shit. I don't fucking know. Some sick ass having tweens and young adults kill each other. I don't know. And that their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody. So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why? To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point? The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right? And for those of us who represent hope, to kill each other and sink into despair, the mastermind wants the world to see that and try to prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous. That's redonkulous. You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group whose sole only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is it really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer? I know how angry it must make you, and yet the same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What? Because their goal is to broadcast the killing game to the world. The mastermind has to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter. At least, that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves. That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me. So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following with all the proper rules to get me killed. They began the trial and didn't have a right answer, had then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work. Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept our suggestion. To prove that that despair is better than hope, they had to defeat us in perfect form. It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they had violated their own regulations. But all that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge? Well, it's only thanks to you that we got the chance. Because you believed in me, another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue. In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh and took in a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic. Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time. Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There's no option except to win. But before we begin our final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but how do we know who our real enemy is? All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone? Is that really possible? Huh? Anyway, right now we have to go find the others. They're probably in the dorm somewhere. Shall we go? Okie dokie. And suddenly, we were greeted with... You again? 121255. Is he broken? I suppose he's emotionally unstable. I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit. Send act 6-1. Jeez, what the heck? I wonder what that was about. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Ah! Is that Makoto? You guys! It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto. Huh? You survived? Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach. You know that? Like, I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right, man? Everyone was there. All my friends who had struggled together and survived. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up. Wait, what's that smell? Yeah, man, that seriously stinks, man. Ah, Makoto! He smells like a wet dog! Get away! Shoo, shoo! Dots. And in a flash, my tears dried up. Howdy, partners. I still can't believe you survived. Yeah, me neither. Do you realize why it is you escaped execution? It was alter ego. He saved my life. Not too many people can say they had their lives saved by a computer program. I imagine it was a learning experience for you. Makoto, like what was it like hanging out in the spirit world, man? I didn't go to the spirit world. Did you get to talk to her, man? Who? Miss Cleo. No, I didn't talk to her. I mean, I didn't go to the spirit world. I mean, who the heck is Miss Cleo? Is that like his 4th grade teacher? It's probably some like goddess or something. I don't even know. So what have you guys been doing while I was gone? Well, we figured that since the trial was over, we'd have access to new places again. And? No dice. All the rooms were locked before. We're still locked here. So there weren't any new areas? Then where can we go find new clues? You stink. Are you rotten? Rotten physically, mentally, everywhere you can be rotten. Sorry, I was rolling around in garbage for a while. This smell is so smelly. A smelly smell. I smell a smelly smell that smells smelly. Anchovies. What? Anchovies! Ah! Super smelly. You smell even worse than me. Way worse than me. I win. She seems happy for some reason. There's no time to indulge in an extended happy reunion. We need to explain to everyone what happened with Monokuma. Explain? Explain what? But is it okay that you're here? Like, what if the mastermind catches you, man? That's related to what I have to tell you all. I need to tell you all about the last class trial. Okay, I guess I'll be explaining then. The last class trial? We're going to do a redo of Mukuro's trial. What? Seriously? What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right, man? No, I didn't do it, like I keep telling you. Makoto isn't the killer, and of course it's not me or any of you. Then who is it? What she's saying is, it was the work of the mastermind. What? You're saying the mastermind killed Murkuro? That's right, it was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time, and did what he had to stop it. But his decision meant he would be the one to die. You spotted the trap? Did you, Makoto? You make it sound like it was easy. I just, you know. But executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school regulations. The rule states that only the Blackened is to be executed. The mastermind broke their own rules. Which is why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more time. And the mastermind agreed? Does that mean we really did break the rule? He really did break the rules? Then they had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast to gain the leverage you needed, didn't you? Very observant of you. I recall what you said at the end of the last trial. When you said, now it's the mastermind that's ensnared. That's what you were referring to. Hey, I'm totally in the dark here, man. For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again later. So, knowing all this, what do we do now? It's about who killed Murkuro, right? So our job is to expose the mastermind. But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school. Every last mystery? But we've been looking all around this time, and we still don't know anything, right? You've probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies. Like everyone? Hey, who said you could agree to those terms without talking with the rest of us? I'm fine with things the way they are. I'm fine with living here forever with Master. I, meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible. Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. In other words, one decisive final battle, a rather interesting development, I'd say. But figuring out who the mastermind is, and how they killed Murkuro, and the school's mysteries? That's pretty tall freaking order, man. Maybe, but this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search as hard as we can, I'm sure we'll all solve those mysteries. I'm not sure about that. Huh? I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. You can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries. That's what I thought too, at first. But you're forgetting the mastermind is one of us. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. Hint? It's very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. Monokuma said that, did he? Then Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable. Huh? But why? If the mastermind really is one that killed Murkuro, as Kyoko says, then the mastermind would have had to set foot in this school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Murkuro, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that. But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have been taking part in the killing game. Then the mastermind is one of us. There were 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning. Add Murkuro and you get 16. So the mastermind would have to be one of them. And of those 16 people we started out with, the only ones still alive are the people standing right here. Need I continue, or do you get it now? You're saying the mastermind is one of us, man? You can't be serious. Wait, we can't say for sure that's true yet. Monokuma might have just said all this to confuse us. It's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean, they're the ultimate, right? The ultimate despair, so they must be a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible. Weren't you the one that started off like saying that it wasn't possible? But if one of us is the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But did you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active? Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret. I don't care how sneaky you are, we would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times. Then maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they had loaded up with dialogue and actions beforehand, man. In that case, there's no way we could have all had those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it would have been entirely impossible. It wouldn't be entirely impossible if they detected the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but still. Is it going to be like some sort of this school announcement? You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Oop, boop, boop, boop. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay? Yeah! How very magnanimous? What are these words, man? My brain just fucking I read it as it's magnanimous, right? I keep reading it as like magma. I don't know. I'm just like not the type of person that uses big words, so like, but like I know how to like it's magnanimous. I know how to pronounce it. I just like seeing it written. It's just weird. I don't know. Of him to unlock all the rooms. The time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway. At this point, I can rely only on myself, on the Togami blood flowing through my veins. I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility. Well then. After making his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. Master! He didn't take me with him. Do you blame him, man? Without Master, the rest of you are like coffee with cream without the cream, or coffee. So just a cup? You're totally useless. Cups are not useless. So bye. With that, Toko trudged out out of the dining hall. Now she's gone, man. And are you gonna go off by yourself, right, Kyoko? That's right. Which just leaves Makoto, Hina, and me. Dots. In that case, I'm gonna go by myself too, man. Wait, how come? Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's identity, man. Yeah. What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same thing. I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know? But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depended on Sakura and everyone else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been there, I would have died. Makoto? That's really nice of you to say. But still, I don't know. I know I've mostly been totally useless. So I figured, at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us all get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see you later. Hina was in surprisingly high spirits as she dashed out of the dining hall. And once again, it's just us two. Indeed. Well, you know, just hear me out. Hear me out. Just a 30-second handhold, alright? That's all I want. And then I'll be good to go. So you're going to go off on your own too, right, Kyoko? Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're going to do our searches separately doesn't mean we can't still work together. That goes for all of us. I think I see what you mean. Doing our own investigating doesn't mean we can't work together in the end. I should just see it as us splitting up to cover more ground. And then we can get back together and share what we found. Yeah, that's right. Well, I better get going. I have an endless list of things I need to check. Monokuma said all the doors in the school have been unlocked, right? We should be able to investigate every nook and cranny in the school. We can visit places we couldn't go before. Makoto, no matter what it takes, we have to uncover the truth by any means necessary. With that, Kyoko was gone, leaving only me. I don't have time to waste either. I have to begin my search. I still can't believe the mastermind might be one of us. So that's why I'll have to prove the mastermind isn't one of us. I'll expose the mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of the school. And then we can all escape together. Alrighty then, my weeaboos, that's gonna do it for this one. Hope you all enjoyed that. And you know, I hope to see y'all in preparation of the final battle in the next one. Let's go, baby!